It's your boy Big Baby. Support sporting icons for latest boxing news. Cheeseburger.
So Dorothy, the Wicked Witch, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and whoever else is on standby will all be in attendance in Kansas this weekend for a very, very short notice event from Matchroom Boxing as they go over to Kansas. And by the way, big up Cinderman for creating that photo for me. Excellent stuff. In fact, can you do another one as well? You can kind of keep the same characters, but do the Scarecrow with the face of Deontay Wilder. If I only had a brain. Now, this card is very good. As I said, it's a very short notice one. It was only announced a couple of weeks ago, and already it's here. In the main event, Big Baby Jarrell Miller will take on Bogdan Dinu. Now, Bogdan Dinu is 18-0 from Romania. He hasn't really fought anybody of any kind of great note. But he is undefeated, and Jarrell Miller also undefeated, but he does have a draw on his record. Now, it could potentially have the vacant WBA regular world title on the line, but with this kind of like last minute kind of event, it's unlikely that they can get that title over the line within that time, because the WBA regular champion, Emmanuel Chai, who failed a PED test and passed one, etc., etc., it's all complicated. It looks like he will be stripped, but will he be stripped in time before Saturday? If they can, then obviously the title will be on the line, but it's unlikely at this stage. So either way, this is a fight that they were hoping to have the WBA regular world title on the line for. Hence the reason why Eddie Hearn pulled Bogdan Dinu out of the Bulgarian fight when he was supposed to take on Tom Little about a week or two ago there. So he pulled him out with the promise of a WBA regular world title. That's not on the line, but Tom Little has been rewarded, and he will in fact be appearing on the Dillian Whyte vs Derek Chisora Part 2 on the undercard against David Price. I'll make another video on that one at some point. So this is a fight that Big Baby Jarrell Miller, you would imagine, would win. Now, we don't quite know how good Bogdan Dinu is. He is 18-0, but as I said, if you just look at his resume, he hasn't been in there with anybody that stands out and makes you go, ooh, that's a good one. But Jarrell Miller, as we know, he's just a come forward. He's like a juggernaut. He will just keep on coming forward and swinging for the fences. That's what he does. And how you stop this kind of behemoth, 300+ pounds, is beyond me. You need some severe power to make him think twice about engaging you. And I'm not too sure if Bogdan Dinu has that. If he does, hey, listen, you never know. And this is a great opportunity for Bogdan Dinu to make a real name for himself by getting a scalp of Big Baby Jarrell Miller. Now, also on the card, Brandon Rios. He'll be taking on Ramon Alvarez. This will be a 12-rounder super welterweight. No title on the line. But I kind of see this as a keep busy fight for Brandon Rios. He is kind of at the tail end of his career. I know he does have a few fights left, and all going well with this one, he's already said he would like Josh Kelly next. Josh Kelly is currently 8-0. He will be fighting on the Kell Brook undercard on December the 8th against Ababiy, which is a huge step up for Josh Kelly. So all going well, we may actually get Josh Kelly versus Brandon Rios, of course, if both of these guys win. So I would expect Brandon Rios to win this one. I don't consider Brandon Rios to be elite level, but certainly world level. There's no doubt. I don't ever see him being a world champion at some point, but he's kind of like the gatekeeper onto bigger and better things, in my opinion. But anyway, this will be super welterweight. Of course, Josh Kelly's at welterweight, so these guys will have to fight at welterweight should they fight. But anyway, I fully expect Brandon Rios to do a job on this guy and potentially beat him on points. Claressa Shields. Now, I know that she's getting like a fair bit of buzz behind her. Between her and Katie Taylor, they seem to be grabbing the female boxing world by its horns and dragging it through. And we know in America, Claressa Shields, of course, she's like a 2-time Olympian, and she's a 2-weight world champion already in only, what, half a dozen fights. So she's looking the real deal. Of course, very young as well, very young. Arrogant, for sure. But I think you kind of have to be. It's a man's world, I suppose, boxing, and she's trying to stamp her authority. Anyway, she's going to be taking on from Scotland, Hannah Rankin. And this will be for the WBA, IBF and WBC women's middleweight unification titles. So Hannah Rankin has said that she's going to knock out Claressa Shields, which is unlikely, to be fair. But if it happens, what a name to have on the resume for Hannah Rankin to actually not only beat and be in the ring with Claressa Shields, but knock her out. But it's unlikely it's going to happen based on what Claressa Shields has been doing lately, where she's just been steamrolling people. So you would fully expect Claressa Shields to win this one, but I'm going to have to be Team Rankin. I'm sorry, but I am. Anyway, you've got Luis Arias versus Gabriel Rosado, a middleweight fight. Now, these guys, neither one of these, in my opinion, will ever become a world champion. But stranger things have happened. Gabriel Rosado's been around the block on several occasions. He's taken some absolute beatings in his life. He's been robbed on scorecards before and all this kind of thing. And isn't afraid to defend punches with his face. You know, we've seen him in absolutely bloody messes before, most notably against Triple G in that as well. Luis Arias, again, very, very good fighter. And this is going to be a real good fight with some kind of needle in it, it seems. I'm not too sure where the needle come from, but these guys either, they have some kind of bet on as to who wins between them both. I think it's like a 10-grand bet, or it's a winner take all with a purse, that kind of thing. So I'm not too sure where the needle come from, but it does appear that these guys don't like each other. I'm not too sure why Luis Arias seems to keep wearing a silly mask. It's a bit crazy. But anyway, that's an interesting fight. As I said, the needle makes it more interesting. If there was no needle, people probably wouldn't be too bothered about it, to be fair. Now, Nico Hernandez, he will be taking on Jose Morales. Now, this should be a straightforward victory for Nico Hernandez. Hernandez is very, very popular in the parts of Kansas. Very, very popular. And he seems to be pretty much selling this entire event for the most part, because he's a local there and people love this guy. So who knows what he's going to achieve in the future. He's part of the Matchroom Boxing stable now, and all going well, if people, or if he delivers what people like Eddie Hearn believe that he will, then it could be a real diamond in the making right here. Anyway, he's going to be on this card now. Also on the card, Nikita Ababiy. Now, of course, on his debut, he smoked his opponent on his debut in, what, 30 seconds or something. So now he's going to be given another crack in a 4-rounder against Javier Rodriguez. Again, hopefully all going well for Nikita Ababiy. He will get through this one and build on it. He's also a YouTuber as well, by the way. So we'll have to wait and see if he's really about that life. We don't know yet. He's still very, very young. He does seem a bit like a kind of Logan Paul kind of guy, to be perfectly fair. He looks quite similar to him, but obviously he can punch a bit. So hopefully all going well. Nikita Ababiy is the real deal. Eddie Hearn seemed to really rate him, hence the reason why he signed him before he'd even made a single pro fight. So we'll have to wait and see. And Anthony Sims Jr. Now, I like this guy a lot. He is light heavyweight and looked like the real deal. And already people here in the UK are talking about Anthony Sims Jr. potentially one day at some point taking on the likes of Joshua Buatsi. That would be fantastic. Now, I would probably exclude Anthony Yarde from this kind of situation. I don't ever see Anthony Yarde taking on any of these guys, to be fair. And that's unfortunate, it really is. And I do like Anthony Yarde. But Anthony Sims Jr. is looking the real deal. And he's motivated. He wants to become a millionaire. Okay, he wants to become a household name in America. He wants to crack that US market. He wants to become a big star over there. And he's willing to take on any person that he possibly can. Now, this is light heavyweight. He could potentially be at super middleweight as well. I've heard Eddie Hearn saying this one. So we don't quite know where his weight's going to be. Is he going to stay at light heavy? Is he going to drop down? Who knows what the situation is going to be. But either way, Anthony Sims Jr. is looking the real deal. There's a couple more fights on that card. I don't know who they are, so I do apologise. Manny Thompson versus Leroy Jones, and Jeremy Nichols versus Jeremiah Page. I don't know who they are. I couldn't give you any kind of info about them. So this whole card, again, I mean, it's not the best card in the world. As I said, it was very, very short notice. And I know a lot of people will be jumping all over it saying, oh, is this the best Eddie Hearn can do? Listen, first of all, it's still early conceptions for DAZN and him cracking America. So he doesn't have a whole plethora of fighters right now. So all of this is building. This time next year is when we really need to start judging what's he doing in America as to whether or not he's going to, I don't know, make it a success like he has in the UK, but time will tell. As I said, this card not exactly stacked. There's some good fights on here. I mean, I'll probably say the best fight on this one, which could be considered a 50-50, will be Luis Arias versus Gabriel Rosado. That's probably the only one, to be fair. The rest of them is mirroring a PBC show, where you have an A side going up against a B side, where you pretty much know the result before it happens. Strange things do happen, of course, but unlikely. As in Jarrell Miller versus Bogdan Dinu, they don't know where that's 50-50. In my opinion, Jarrell Miller will overwhelm and stop Bogdan Dinu quite comfortably, I believe. Even though Bogdan Dinu is 18-0 undefeated, I haven't seen anything of him that'll make me go, whew, maybe. Brandon Rios again. I mean, potentially against Ramon Alvarez. I mean, potentially it could be a close fight. But again, you'll probably have to favour Brandon Rios. Claressa Shields, again, you're going to have to heavily favour her. Hannah Rankin does have a lot of confidence about her, but, you know, I'm not too sure about it. But the rest of them, as I said, it's all a case of they're just being given TV time is what they're being doing. But anyway, as time goes on, the more and more fighters join Matchroom Boxing USA in the stable. Of course, he doesn't just have USA, he's got the UK mark, he's got Italian, he's got German, and whatever else now. I'm not too sure how much time Eddie Hearn is actually going to actually spend at home sleeping in his own bed, to be honest. I mean, with all the shows going on, it's absolutely crazy. But as I said, this time next year, that's when we really need to be looking at Eddie Hearn and his whole DAZN deal to say, are you doing what you promised? You went in there like a whirlwind with your mouth open saying we're going to do this, that and the other. So, as I said, for me, he's got about 12 months to really show us what he's got about. So for these kind of cards for now, I'm perfectly okay with, and I'm sure a lot of people in America are too. And not only that, he's taking boxing to cities that don't get much boxing, or at least professional boxing. So, listen, he's doing something that isn't really being done already, which is he's taking boxing to Chicago. He's taking it to Kansas, and he'll be taking it to other places as well that aren't really renowned for boxing cities. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's this weekend. As I said, I fully expect Jarrell Miller to remove the head of Dinu and send it flying off to the land of Oz, all that kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, you drop your thoughts below about this card. Click that thumbs up and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.